A major escalation in Idlib. Dozens of Turkish troops dead, the wounded taken back to Turkey for treatment.
As a result of the airstrikes, 33 soldiers are martyred. None of our wounded soldiers who are being treated in hospital are in critical condition. May our martyrs rest in peace. I wish speedy recovery for our wounded soldiers, and I express my condolences to our nation.
Turkey's response was swift. Turkish officials released footage showing the retaliatory strikes, saying they have fired on all known Syrian government targets. And near the Turkish border with Greece, refugees are waiting at the border to cross into Europe. Turkish officials say they will open the border to millions of Syrian refugees who want to go to Europe, reversing a pledge Turkey made to the European Union in 2016. The international community has condemned the war's ongoing humanitarian impact.
What is happening in northwest Syria, they said, is beyond imagination. It is not humanly tolerable. They told me of children so traumatized they no longer speak.
Turkey has given Syria an end-of-the-month ultimatum to retreat. With Syria and its ally Russia refusing to back down, a humanitarian ceasefire may prove elusive.
Let's bring in DW correspondent Julia Hahn for more on the story. She's following it all from Istanbul. Hi, Julia. Good to see you. This is a significant escalation. Can you bring us up to date on the latest that you're hearing from the Turkish side?
Well, yes, indeed. This is a major escalation in this direct conflict between Turkish and Russian-backed Syrian forces there in Idlib. We have seen a number of clashes in recent weeks, but that airstrike, according to what we understand, has caused the largest death toll for Turkey in a single day since it first intervened in Syria 4 years ago. Now, Turkey has been hitting Syrian regime positions in Idlib in the past hours. That's according to the presidential palace in Ankara. It comes after a national security meeting was held in Ankara, chaired by President Erdogan himself. So no signs of backing down here from Ankara. And let me remind you, President Erdogan has also given Damascus a deadline. He wants the Syrian regime forces to withdraw to previously agreed ceasefire lines by the end of the month, which is essentially today or tomorrow. Considering the situation on the ground, this is highly unlikely. So we might see more confrontation, more escalation in the days to come.
We know that Turkey is a member of NATO. NATO says it's holding an emergency session today. I mean, what role do you think that this aspect of the story will play?
Well, this has definitely become a major issue for NATO. The alliance was quick to condemn this deadly airstrike. And as you mentioned, they are holding an emergency meeting at Turkey's request today. Turkey wants support from its Western allies. It wants them to understand that what's happening in Syria right now is not just a Turkish problem, a Turkish issue. And Turkish officials will probably press for a so-called no-fly zone in Syria to protect the lives of hundreds of thousands of people who have been displaced there during the clashes. Now, interestingly, the Turkish government so far avoids blaming this airstrike yesterday on Russia. It blames solely the Assad regime, although it is widely known and understood that the Syrian regime is carrying out these attacks with crucial support from Russia. Russia controls the airspace over Syria, over Idlib. So this is essentially, yes, a confrontation between Ankara and Moscow with the potential of turning into an open conflict between NATO and Russia as well.
Julia, you mentioned the hundreds of thousands of people fleeing the fighting. They're heading towards the Turkish border. What will happen to them?
Well, by all accounts, what's happening there inside Idlib is a humanitarian nightmare. We're getting reports of children freezing to death because families have to sleep outside in the open because there is just not enough space and nowhere for them to go. So far, Turkey has not opened its borders to these refugees currently stuck inside Idlib. But what's interesting is that a spokesperson of President Erdogan's ruling AKP said yesterday that Turkey was no longer able to stop the 4 million refugees currently residing inside Turkey from trying to reach Europe. And that's basically reiterating a long-standing threat by the president to open the gates to Europe. And we've seen images here on Turkish television of people, of refugees, Syrians and other nationalities gathering at Turkey's land border with Greece and Bulgaria. We've heard reports of people leaving Istanbul in buses. And of course, this is images. These are problems that potentially increase pressure on Europe as well to act and to do something in this crisis.
DW's Julia Hahn reporting from Istanbul. Thank you.